Wow, I'm finally live. Let's see. It has been such a crazy good day. So many delays going on. I was supposed to start this webinar at 1 o'clock today, and that did not happen. I'm sure you all will understand. And I actually need to post a link here. Let's see here. Oops. As promised, I have a bonus towards the end that everybody can expect to see or have access to. Let's see here. LinkedIn. All right, since it's already late. Lordy. Okay, so welcome everyone to the Research-Naïve to Revenue Ready webinar, the cost of trial delays and how to activate untapped regions like Southeast Missouri. If you all do not know me by now, you will. My name is Alicia Moore. I'm the CEO of Clinical Science Research Solutions, and I'm also the founder of I Am Research and Wellness Foundation. I'm going to kind of change the screen a little bit so I can see. All right. Let's talk about it. Welcome to the webinar. This is going to be an overview of what we're going to learn today. So 86% of rural U.S. counties still do not have any active trial sites. I can vouch for that because I've preached a million times. I live in Southeast Missouri, specifically in Sikeston, Missouri, and we do not have any active trials. So my goal and what I'm working on right now, and soon have some things going on in the background, we will have those sites. The average cost of a delayed trial, according to the Tufts Center for the Study of Drug Development, the average cost daily is between $48,000 to $64,000 of a delayed trial. That's a lot of money to lose on a regular basis, on a daily basis. Yet sponsors spend about $2.6 billion annually on trial diversity, yet areas like ours, it doesn't exist. The money is not being spent over here. And I feel like, and I will say a lot of times it's because they do not know this area is on the map. But we're changing that, right? I'm changing that, at least for Southeast Missouri, and Sikeston, Missouri, Poplar Bluff, Kate, all the counties, the smaller areas, we're changing that. Most CROs report site startup. It's not the recruitment is the contributor to a delayed risk or delayed trials. And that makes sense to me because before you even have patients come in to participate in clinical trials, there's a lot of startup activities that go on before recruitment even begins. I think I can switch over. Okay, this is for you, if you are a sponsor, CRO, stakeholder, if you're tired of hearing about trial delays and you're tired of hearing about diversity gaps or not knowing what to do about it, or you're tired of hearing about workforce shortages or experiencing workforce shortages without real solutions, I myself, my company, I have built a system to address those gaps. And LinkedIn is really the bridge that connects those solutions to sponsors. And I say LinkedIn because LinkedIn is your biggest B2B platform or B2C platform. I feel like, and I don't feel like LinkedIn is one of the biggest platforms that I noticed that if you're trying to start a business or wanting to connect with the right people, LinkedIn is it. I call it the hotspot. Let me zoom out so I can see what's going on here. Actually, okay. All right, that's much better. So what will you learn today? Well, we're going to talk about the hidden cause of trial delays, why site startup, not patient recruitment, is the true bottleneck, the cost breakdown of delays and how they erode trial ROI, the infrastructure gap in rural America, as in Southeast Missouri, and I know there are some other rural areas that can vouch for this, why 86% of rural counties still lack access to trials, the financial and operational risk of overlooking these communities, what sponsors and CROs are actually prioritizing. What are they prioritizing? Insights from 2024 to 2025, CRO and sponsor reports on startup budgeting, DEI, and regulatory pain points. The systems I'm building to solve it. I'm building quite the infrastructure, quite the ecosystem, because I know what's lacking in this area, and I know what it's going to take to get everybody in this area up to speed and to actually put our region on the clinical research map. AI-powered tools that actually speed up this study startup times, tech feasibility delays, budget friction, and compliance tracking at scale, and introducing tools like a study readiness bot, budget negotiator, or DEI strategy generator that's going to help speed up the study startups. Again, how to partner, invest, or join the movement, especially with individuals or business owners like myself that live in these research-naive areas that need sponsors to come and check us out and say, hey, yeah, this is the area that we need to help open up a site and give studies to this particular site, depending upon what health issues are plaguing the area. And then we're also going to discuss how to access my mentorship programs and corporate strategy programs so we can mitigate these issues. I do not see anybody in the chat right now. Let me check something. Let's see if, okay. Yes, I'm live, local, and late breaking. What should you consider? What if the solution to trial delays, missed DEI goals, low retention is not just patient-facing ads, but more investment in overlooked site infrastructure? Today, I'll walk you through what sponsors and CROs are really looking for based on recent data, why rural research-naive areas can outperform traditional sites when built right. And I say that because we actually have the diversity that's needed for the clinical trials. There's not enough of us or these areas participating in these clinical trials. There's not enough of the rural areas that are on the clinical trial map, if you will, clinical research map. What else should you consider, or what I will walk you through today, is the AI SOPs, workforce and mentorship systems. I am creating brick by brick, literally step by step from scratch. The issue right there. Okay. The hidden cost of trial delays. We all know the hidden cost of trial delays is usually money, but we can't keep blaming it on patient recruitment for slow trials. The truth of the matter is the delays start before the patients enroll. 45% of trial delays are due to site startup issues. Startup friction includes budgeting holdups, which I've heard a lot of site owners, and in this industry, we hear that a lot. Lack of trained staff. I've been seeing and hearing and talking to other site owners. A lot of times they do not have the bandwidth to train their staff. And this is where my mentorship programs and my academy comes in. No. Mitigate those issues and delayed approvals. Recruitment struggles are symptoms. The real disease is the infrastructure. So again, whenever you're looking to partner with someone like myself in a rural area, first of all, we have to address the real issues. There's no infrastructure. So whenever I get ready to build the infrastructure, I have to literally start from scratch and build every little single piece of the puzzle that's going to fill in the gap and help build a stronger infrastructure for rural areas like Southeast Missouri. The infrastructure gap in rural America. Where's the data? What does the data tell us? And I just mentioned this before, 86% of rural counties in the US do not have any open clinical trials. I'll say it again 100 million times. The area where I stay, there's literally not one building that has no building, no PIs, no CRAs, no clinical research coordinators, regulatory bodies. None of that exists. But again, of course, I'm changing that. We're closer than we think. I won't say too much, but it's in the works. Rural residents, according to the data, make up about 15 to 20% of the US population. And yet we are not represented in trials, leading to delayed generability and inequitable care. So ignoring rural infrastructure costs sponsors millions and leaves communities underserved. So what's the real cost of not acting upon these areas? Well, again, in order for sponsors, CROs, and other companies to know that the rural areas exist, sometimes we have to speak up. And for me, speaking up means getting on LinkedIn and talking about where I live, what I'm going through, what I'm building, actually living it. It's a difference whenever you're actually living in a rural area where clinical research doesn't exist. So I knew that that's an issue. I'm putting us on the map by talking about it on LinkedIn. I'm putting us on the map by going to these conferences and telling people my story. Like, this is what I'm doing. This is the infrastructure that I'm building. So we're getting put on the map. And also the area where I stay in, sometimes I feel like no one is really listening, but I was just at the beauty shop today and especially like on Facebook, not many people respond, but there was a lady that I met today. She recognized me and she said that, oh, what you're doing is great. It's beautiful. More and more people are coming up to me personally. They're not saying anything on Facebook, but they're coming up to me personally saying, we see what you're doing and we see what you're trying to bring to the area. And then that's whenever I go to explain a lot more of what I'm doing, because it's very important to put yourself out there in the community of these rural areas and just literally having conversations with individuals, not just on the internet, but face to face. It makes a huge difference. And what will happen is the word will spread abroad. So what's the real cost? Every day a trial is delayed, it costs, look at the number, $600 to $8 million. That's insane. That is insane. Depending upon the therapeutic area. Poor site selection leads to under-enrollment, causing protocol amendments and increased timelines. Recruitment budgets balloon when startup is rushed or unplanned. DEI is not just ethical, it's strategic. Delay DEI equals delay ROI. What sponsors and CROs are actually prioritizing? Well, according to Greenfire 2025 and WCG Insights, 73% of CROs say diverse patient recruitment is their number one challenge. It is? Well, 64% cite multi-region regulatory compliance as a roadblock. 100% say delayed site startup and budgeting are major pain points. I can see that, and that's the truth. I've heard it way too many times in my circle. But less than 50% are invested in rural capacity building. But the data proves rural expansion is a missed opportunity. Again, I know it's a missed opportunity because I'm living it. And I'm inviting CROs and sponsors, vendors, and other site owners to help to partner with me so we can do a lot better and actually bring these percentages, this data down in a positive way that's going to impact the industry. LinkedIn user, I will answer questions later. I'll get to the questions later. keep bringing in your questions. That way I can, towards the end, we'll go through Q&A. It looks like a great question though. So what are the systems that I'm building to solve it? I am literally creating in Southeast Missouri a blueprint from scratch, brick by brick, starting from the bottom, and literally building out these mentorship programs. So whenever I get ready to train individuals or mentor individuals that want to start a site in a rural area, you're welcome, LinkedIn user, in a rural area, I can tell them how to do it in from my point of view and from my experience. There are some programs out there that kind of teach you how to do it, but I'm going to teach you literally step by step. And the mentorship programs that I have is a turnkey. Whenever I say a turnkey, you do not have to go looking anywhere for any resources at all, even down to some of the things that you're going to need to even make sure your business is productive and even come tax time, you know? So again, one of the things I'm working on creating is a site startup and diversity readiness mentorship program. This program is for individuals that are looking to start a site. And I'm really truly focused on individuals that are in the rural areas, not counting anybody else out. But since I'm starting it from the ground up and literally building it from the ground up, it takes a lot of work. And some of the tips and tricks that people are saying on LinkedIn or other individuals that live in like prominent areas that have clinical research of sites and sponsors, those methods do not necessarily work in areas like this. There's a different way of going about it. So I teach you how to do that step by step. Also, the SOPs that we need for our sites will be designed by clinical research lawyers. You'll have access to them and access to those particular SOPs. They're already written out. Why mess with it if you can actually have lawyers, like literally the lawyers in the clinical research space, write them out. You just need to tweak them to your particular business. That's if you choose to do so. My curriculum, I am building it within Thinkific. That is how I'm training individuals, even through my mentorship programs and my academy, is through Thinkific. That platform, it's an LMS platform that's used by so many people. It's very user friendly. You can create quizzes, assignments, add modules. Even these types of webinars, you can actually add them into Thinkific seamlessly. And then even if you wanted to go to YouTube, you can add those in there. Revenue sharing mentorship models to reduce cost barriers. So with one of my mentorship programs, the side hustle one that I talk about all the time, I teach you how to, if you're in the clinical research space or in the healthcare field, I teach you how to take your area of expertise, your gifts that I actually see in you. A lot of times you don't see in yourself. And I teach you how to create a product that's going to address pain points in this industry. So you don't want to create anything that people are already doing. You really need to create something that is unique to you. And how are you solving the pain points, let's say like in the rural areas, that's going to be attractive to the sponsors and CROs. And they can say, oh, you know what? I really want to work with this individual. They know what the issues are we face whenever it comes to building or finding these areas, these rural areas, so we can actually, have diversity in our trials, the patient population, whatever it may be. And so what I do is I help you build that out, and you'll have the opportunity to share your product as long as it aligns with my mission at my business. We will be able to co-market it on my website. And then also, if you have your own landing page, you can still market that on your particular website and receive 100% profit. But I get more into details and more on how to do that in that particular program. But I'm just going through and telling you how I'm addressing what I'm building to address the gaps in this industry and to put Southeast Missouri on the clinical research map. The workforce development across the CRC, CRA, and PI roles is very important in this area that I provide that education. It's very important that I have my courses accredited, because I will begin partnering with, the hospital institutions and the colleges. And when I do that, I have to make for sure whatever I have, the systems that I'm building, it's credible, that builds trust, because in the rural areas, you already have a lack of trust as it is whenever it comes to even just going to the doctor's office, let alone participating in clinical trials. So they need to see that somebody like myself, as I'm building this infrastructure, that I actually have credible sources, businesses that's going to back me up and give me the credibility that I need to proceed, building the infrastructure. Everything is compliant first and community powered. I'm all about empowering our community with the education and knowledge that we need to ensure that what I'm bringing, they understand clearly what's going on. But if not, that's the reason why I have my nonprofit organization, so I can, deliver educational materials. We can have these health and wellness initiatives, so people understand why it's important to participate in clinical trials, and you're not just a guinea pig. And anyone that participate in clinical trials, you just never know whenever that drug hits the market, how that's going to affect you or your children's children, someone in your family. I mean, it's so important that we advocate for rural areas to participate in these clinical trials, because sometimes I will say, like with the lisinopril is not necessarily for African Americans. So I urge my community, African American community individuals, if you have questions about what's really going on in the industry, please come to me and we can talk about it. And this is where the CROs and sponsors and vendors can come and partner with me, so we can I have a program for that, so we can actually talk about what is the best way to implement our systems into in these rural areas, so we can address those gaps. Well, I just basically rambled on and talked about this. So the real implementation in Southeast Missouri, let me show you what site infrastructure actually looks like. Again, training principal investigators from scratch. As a matter of fact, there is a physician that I'm talking to right now. She does not know anything about the principal investigators course or anything about being a principal investigator at a site. So the principal investigators course that I have, which will be going through the accreditation process, I will be training her through the Principal Investigators Academy. That way she's prepped and ready to go. And she's no longer almost not, research naive. So CROs, vendors, sponsors, companies, you don't have to worry about training these individuals, because I have the infrastructure, I have the training programs to do that for you. I'm working on partnering with primary care physicians as we speak. Once that happens, it's not very smart to put the cart before the horse. And this is what I teach in my site readiness program. You build the infrastructure, you work on building it, the communication, you find your PI, which is a little different than just going out and finding a PI. A lot of the PIs here, or doctors here in this area, they do not have their own private practice, which means I don't have the space. I don't have the ability to rent out space in a building, in their office building. So I literally have to go out and lease or buy my own, which is fine. So once I partner with the physician, we get the paperwork all together, then I will be ready to lease out my building. And of course, the supplies, they're going to be coming through anyway. And then what it really looks like, I'm building a team before I even launch a trial. I think that's important, because you have to, as you're building a business, you don't want to do things after the fact. I don't want to, in behind the scenes, start a research site and then all of a sudden get on LinkedIn and talk about a research site. I'm branding myself right now as an up and coming research site owner. And these are the steps that I'm taking to build the business, because again, in these rural areas, you just cannot plop a site here. You have to start with the foundation and very basics of, first of all, what is clinical research 101? You have to start with that, and then have conversations, coffee chats. Even whenever I go to the Y, I talk to people about what I'm doing. So the word is spreading around, and I'll even share it on my social media platform. Even if people are not responding, you still need to put yourself on LinkedIn, on social media, and let people know like as I'm doing, I'm the go-to person for clinical research of anything. And my team, I started building my team. Of course, before I have a site, I'm going to need to make sure they're well trained on how to deliver the educational content. And for me, it's not just, you don't wait for sponsors to come to you. And this is with any business, you need to be proactive. Be proactive. So by the time they get ready to come to you, you're going to be ready to go. That's how I'm building the infrastructure here. I didn't wait. I'm not going to wait for a sponsor to come and find me, because first of all, they didn't even know we're on the map anyway. And if they do, I don't know anything about it. The AI powered tools that speed up startup time. I've got some notes here. All right. Okay, let's talk about the tech. These are the AI powered tools that I will be creating, not just concepts, but they are honestly built into my systems now. Startup readiness bot assesses feasibility metrics in minutes. A budget negotiator helps align with fair market value plus streamlined sponsor approvals. A DEI strategy generator maps to FDA, race, ethnicity guidance for trials. A workflow tracker that keeps timelines and training accountable. These tools, anything AI, it's not replacing people. It just helps expedite whatever infrastructure or system that you're building even faster if it's used properly. Oh, great. I feel like this is perfect timing. So what are the final thoughts? The cost of waiting. Here's what's at stake. Biotechs are freezing. Pipelines, trial budgets are shrinking. CROs are being consolidated. Communities are losing trust. That's really not a good thing, because the trust in the community is already fairly low whenever it comes to participating in clinical trials or just the pharma in general. So I am not going to wait for the industry to fix itself. I'm going to start at home. You start at home and you fix everything from the ground up. And that's what I'm teaching others to do the same thing. And it's really, if you want to simplify it, you don't wait for anybody to fix your home, like your family home. Whatever issues that you're having in your personal life at home, you fix that first. You work on fixing it first, because you're living it. And you know what the issues are, and you know exactly what to do to fix those issues. The outside person can't come in and tell you how to fix it because they're not living it. So it's the same thing with me building the infrastructure for the clinical research in a rural area. I live in a rural area. I know what's needed. I know what's being built. I know the infrastructure, what it's going to take to actually be successful in this area. So no one else outside of my circle or outside of where I live can tell me how to build my home, tell me how to build my infrastructure, tell me how to price it. You can't tell me that, because I know what's needed. So it's the same thing. And I teach others how to do the same thing, same system. And it's a beautiful thing, because I am teaching it and building the infrastructure in real time. This is not like a theory. I'm talking about, oh yeah, we have these gaps in the industry and we need to fix it in the rural areas. Well, I said this before and I'll say it again. A lot of people are just talking. If you're not actually living in the area where it needs to be fixed, you really don't know what it takes to actually fix the issues. So again, circle back around, that's what I'm working on. And I'm absolutely happy, because it's going to be so beneficial for my community, the people, even CRO sponsors. It's a full circle, positive circle. My call to action for any sponsor, CRO, healthcare system in this area, or if you are a research-naive leader ready to build a site, I'm asking you, I'm going to tell you to join the movement. If you're wanting to partner or fund or learn the model, I have my site startup ready, diversity readiness mentorship program. This is for research naive leaders that are wanting to actually build a site. Again, I have a turnkey mentorship program to the point to where all you need to do is just show up and have the willingness to work, so we can start, addressing these issues. And whenever I say I have a turnkey program, you don't have to worry about SOPs. Even grant writers, I have a list of grant writers that you can, a pipeline of grant writers that you're going to need access to, so you can help fund whatever your business, whatever type of model your business is going to be, right? And that's what I'm doing right now. I have a grant writer, and the grant money is there. So I can't stress enough, having these pieces of the puzzles implemented into my mentorship programs is so valuable. Again, you don't have to go looking anywhere for them. And then even the marketing team. I have a marketing team. You're going to have access to my marketing team, because again, whenever you are actually working on building a business, let's say like in my rural area, before I even had the marketing team, you start marketing, branding yourself. And then as your business grows, that's whenever you need to have a reputable marketing team to come in and, revamp your website, whatever it is that you are creating or whatever you're building. They're going to help, make for sure that the SEO optimization for your website or whatever messages that you're trying to get out will attract the right people, the right business owners, the right site owners, the right audience, the right patients for your area, so you can be successful. And I also have a corporate infrastructure training program, mentorship program, that's going to help you we're going to talk about how you can build the infrastructure here, what it's going to actually take. Again, that's still a turnkey mentorship program. And then also, last but not least, subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can hear more educational content like this, or just how to be successful on LinkedIn and getting yourself out there and getting the right eyes on you and then the rural area that you stay in, so we can address these gaps in the industry. If you are wanting to learn more and wanting to partner with me, you message me directly on LinkedIn, or you email me. Here's my email address right here. So let's rebuild clinical trials together, and starting with where they happen, which is the rural areas. Here's the juicy part. I feel like this is the best part ever. I've emailed a lot of you all, everybody that has either signed up in my past webinars, or if you signed up today. And I actually have a webinar starting next week, a Masterclass series. This is a one-time offer. You actually get a little taste of what the Entrepreneur Mentorship Program is all about. It's only 4 weeks. This is usually priced at $15.97. Now, this doesn't account for the side hustle program at all. You'll still receive mentorship from me. We'll meet once a week, and I'm only taking 5 participants. Again, you'll receive a touch of what you need to do as far as building a product and addressing the gaps in the industry. And please don't take this part of it lightly, because any part that you partake in addressing a gap in the industry is vital. So whatever you build that's unique, which I help you create, that will begin to start, narrowing down these numbers, so we can, build a stronger infrastructure in the research-naive areas or rural areas. And you only have, this is a one-time price of $750. You guys, this is like super duper valuable. I pour into my clients. I really do. I don't care if you pay $250, $750. I can't talk today, or $100,000. I literally pour my heart and soul into my clients, and because that's what you deserve. You deserve all the world, my world, one-to-one time. Who is this for? Clinical research professionals that are looking to seek additional stream of income, healthcare workers, CRCs, CRAs, NPs, not limited to PIs with untapped expertise, aspiring entrepreneurs ready to monetize their knowledge, and anyone tired of waiting and ready to build now in an area, research rural area. And if you're ready to again, address the gaps in this industry. And please, and I will say it 100 million times, don't create something that somebody else has created. Whatever you create, just make sure it's unique, and whatever value that you have, which I help you with, whatever value you have to offer, it's going to solve a real pain point, and it's not something repetitive, not a repetitive business. That's not really going to help anything or anyone or any CRO or vendor or sponsor. What will you learn in this particular program? You're going to turn your expertise into a digital service product or even a software development product if you're in the IT space. I will teach you how to price your package and your offer. I'll teach you how to attract the clients without any ads or funnels initially, and then how to grow authority using LinkedIn, and how to launch in 4 weeks with my support. What's included, again, is 4 weeks of the group mentorship, weekly templates and action plans, replay access, certification of completion, and private high-touch groups, 5 seats only. And just to re-emphasize, with all my mentorship programs and including the academy that we're building, you will receive replays of the sessions that we have. They're forever. It's recorded, so you will always have access to that. You'll have access to groups that I will put you in. I'm not going to leave you alone, because in the research industry, science, whatever, you're always going to be learning about something. So we still need to have build a community of individuals so we can still help each other and build each other up and share resources. But what's not included is one-to-one. Again, this is just group coaching. It doesn't include branding or tech setup, and you don't have access to my 7K mentorship resources. Not for this particular program. If that's what you need or want, then my 7K mentorship program is it. And that's a turnkey program. You'll have access to my marketing team. You'll know about the grant writers. You'll one-to-one time. We'll have a legal team access to that, and just so many access to site owners, community, just different resources that you'll have that most programs do not have in the first place. Q&A. We are here at Q&A. What's your questions? And I want to know, how are you changing the narrative in your rural area if you stay in one? I told you how I'm changing mine in Southeast Missouri, and I'm loving it. It poses this challenge, but I love it. Love it. Can't talk, you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the questions and show them. I don't know why it's showing up as LinkedIn user. Before I even get to the question, this, and I have the link for the 4-week mentorship program. It's been available all day, but that price is only available until the end of the webinar. After the webinar, it's gone. So the question from a LinkedIn user is, have you had any strides with pharmaceuticals, biotech company accepting clinicians with no research experience in communities where the patients exist but can't get to research sites? I have been told and have heard that that's possible. There are some individuals or companies that are training research-naive physicians that are looking to start a site, but there's not very many of them. And from what my knowledge is, there aren't very many of them that are providing the education in the research-naive area the way I'm doing it. So pharmaceuticals or these biotech companies, you don't have to worry about doing the training. As I said, I do those, but there are a couple of them that are accepting them, but underneath their training program. And they're doing that so because I know a lot of times I only know one company working on this. Oh, just a second. I only know one company working on this, which is BMS. I don't want to say online. We can talk about that offline. There's one on the tip of my tongue that's doing it. As I said, there aren't very many of them from what I know. Somebody else may come to my inbox and say, oh yeah, there are others, but not to my knowledge. Do you have any other questions? I'm checking my phone to see if I can see anyone. Let's see, commented on my post. Somebody else may come to my inbox and say, "Oh, yeah, there are others." Just a second. Oh, Amanda, I don't know, Amanda. I do not know why your name is not showing up on my live on the computer, but I see it here on my phone. How are you, Amanda? And does that answer your question? I hope you all learned something today. And again, if you're wanting to take advantage of my mentorship program right now, I have the link in the pinned at the top. This is not going to last forever. It will go away. This offer will go away after the webinar. So if you're wanting to tap in, I suggest you do it right now. Yes, I'm doing very well. And, I actually got off to a late start today. It's just been wild and crazy. You're welcome. This recording will be on Instagram, or excuse me, not on Instagram, but YouTube and LinkedIn. And I'm actually doing a live on Facebook. I'm hoping that it actually streamed to Facebook. Actually, let me check that right now. Yep, it's there. Cool. Oops. You're welcome. And if anyone has any questions, again, feel free to inbox me or email me at Clinical Science Research Solutions at clinicalscienceresearchsolutions.com. And I'm looking forward to having these conversations and partnering with CROs, vendors, sponsors, so we can start addressing these gaps. If nothing else, I will end the live. And again, please let me know if you are wanting to get ready to start this mentorship program. I am excited to start with you. Inbox me. I might just extend it for the rest of the day. I want to see research expanding as my trial has done this in underserved communities and made big strides in helping clinicians treat diseases in this population. Thank you for working on expanding in this area. You're welcome. It's my passion. It's my goal. It is, I call it my baby. And it's my mission. It's my mission. And I always tell people, whenever you get into any type of business, you need to be in it to serve your people. And then the rest will come. So I'm in it to serve. And definitely everything else is coming along. Anything else before I go? We still have a little bit of time. It was supposed to take an hour. We finished in 40 minutes. I'm going to check my phone to make sure I didn't miss anybody. I want to see research is going on. All right. This concludes the live. I hope to see you all on Monday. We're going to be talking about something totally different on Monday. I will be going live every single day for 6 days straight. Okay, we will. All right, last but not least, if you're on LinkedIn and you're not following me, follow me on LinkedIn. Let's connect. Subscribe to my newsletter and to my YouTube channel. All right, everyone. This is it, and I will talk to you soon. Goodbye.